2, 3, 4.
Buna dimignata, frazzi, scisuroli lemene. And good morning, my Romanian and American brothers and sisters, along with all the other countries listening to our 21st episode of the internationally renowned Good Morning Guys podcast. Thank you so much for joining us on this fine morning or afternoon. Oh, wow.
It's a good afternoon.
Man, can't talk again.
To ya. Evening or night, depending on when you're listening, as we continue discussing the game of life amidst the other games we love to watch and play. I am one of your hosts, the backlog gaming Brazilian mountaineer who also can't talk, Lucas Ham. And also with me to my left, the judge, jury, and executioner of fake news, the quiet man himself, Patrick Novosel.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you too, brother. Also, the guy who would rather daydream about The Rock becoming the next Batman than watch Christopher Reeve's excellent portrayal of Superman, Ronnie Johantges.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
And last but certainly not least, a man with music in his heart and Doctor Who on his brain, our unfortunately retired little riding champion, Marc Boucher.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Did I just say Jennerman? I think that's what I just said.
I don't know if anyone but Cisco knows what you just said.
Yep, that's okay.
All right. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. If it's not your first time, then welcome back. And know we appreciate you and couldn't do this without you. Unless we found someone to pay us to do it, then we would just do it for the money while also thinking of you.
And the money.
And the money. That is correct. I'd say we're kidding, but I haven't seen the money yet. And I won't know the real truth until I see the money. But seriously, as we have shared with you guys before, we do this to connect with you, to give opportunity for others to join us and participate in the show, asking random questions, sharing a nice haiku, or telling a dad joke or two on Discord, like Travis Popsicle and our West Coast brother, Q4P Mike ABC. Do you guys know, if I had a DeLorean, I would probably only drive it from time to time.
That warms my heart.
Nice.
I love it. Love it, love it.
Wondrous dad joke. Thanks, guys, for that contribution to the dad joke channel. If you,
I have not done a dad joke yet. Oh, sorry, a haiku yet.
You haven't? Oh, okay. I was
I
saying
have
you've
not
done a dad joke.
participated in the haiku yet.
You need to jump
What's
on
a
the
haiku?
haiku.
A haiku is a poem with 5 syllables, 7 syllables, and then 5 syllables.
Yep, 3-line poem.
Like this one. This is my
Throw that
favorite.
right in behind Superman.
Like this one. Insert haiku here.
Segway.
I actually don't have
Haikus are easy,
Oh, go ahead.
but sometimes they don't make sense. Refrigerator.
I love that one. I love that one. I hadn't heard that one in a while, but that's a classic. Thank you
a good
for
one.
that, Patrick. Well, if you, our dear listener, would like to join in on the fun, but are not sure how to connect with us, check out them show notes that are written down on the podcast info area. All of our info on Discord, Twitter, email, or even our phone number that you can call us at, which is what number, Ronnie?
I have no idea.
Fantastic. You're the best. It's 929.
I mean, I'm not going to call it.
Oh, fair enough. It's 929 GMG guys. That's 929 and some numbers. That's spelled GMG guys. And if you call in and leave a message, you could intro the show or just ask a question. Our voicemail is your oyster. And with that, let's get into what's new news with our buddy Patrick.
Wait a minute. Before Patrick goes,
No,
is
don't
anybody making money
interrupt
doing any of this?
Patrick.
Are you
Yeah.
guys raking in money behind my back?
Oh, cat's out of the bag now.
I haven't seen a single cent.
We gave
Abort.
the forwarding
Abort.
address.
Get
Abort.
out now.
All the money gets
I
forwarded to
am
Brazil.
burning this to the ground.
We have a Swiss account in Brazil. I don't know how that works, but that's where the money is, just so you know.
I'm sure there's some Swiss people in Brazil.
There's a few of them.
They probably have accounts also.
Yep. All right. Now that there's been spoilers, Patrick, why don't you share some spoilers with us about your life?
Well, okay. So this past week, nothing really happened in life. I did a bunch of gaming. We have we're going to Disney in a couple weeks, so we've been doing a lot of planning for that. We've been watching a lot of Disney movies with the kids. We watched Aladdin, and then we watched Incredibles 2 over the weekend. And
How about
my
that?
son absolutely loves it. Yeah, what's up?
I was just gonna say, how about that Jack and Raccoon? They stole the show, in my opinion.
That fight was amazing. Yeah, Jack really was. I mean, he's got all the powers. There was like no limit to the powers that he had.
And he uses them so well.
Power.
Yeah, but they loved that movie. I did.
You
my
said
taxes.
Clark was a fan? What was
Yeah,
Clark
what's
a
that?
fan of in the movie? What was Clark a fan of in the movie?
He loved the baby. He loved Jack.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good old Jack.
And then, like I said, I did my taxes, which is going to be great. It's going to pay for our Disney trip, so that's going to be
Sweet.
good. And then, so that's nothing else happened other than the gaming. I did a ton of gaming. I played Sound Shapes, finished that one up. I don't know if I mentioned that on the podcast last week.
You did.
So I finished that up. I got the platinum on that one. That was awesome. And then I played another Vita game called Color Guardians, I think it was. It was. Did you play that one?
Oh yeah, I got the plat on that one. It's a good one.
Okay. I think that was a PS Plus game recently. So
It was
I played that one.
in July of 2016. I'm just kidding. I made up a date.
I was gonna say. Okay.
I'm not that big a nerd.
I'm just trying to find games to play on my Vita. But I played that one, and I played that one with Clark. He absolutely loved the color changing and the platforming and the obstacles. He played a little bit. He did not get very far in any of the levels.
Yeah,
so
it escalates really quickly and gets pretty tough to match the
really
colors and
does.
jump around. You got to use both sides of your brain on that one.
Exactly. Yeah. So one of the trophies was to die 500 times. So
Thanks, Clark.
He helped. Yeah. I know.
But it take one for the team.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't that hard of a platinum. But I got that one over the weekend. That's it's number 8 platinum of the year. I got
Dude.
8 platinums in January.
We haven't even gotten out of January, and you already have 8 of your 12 that you wanted to get.
Yeah, I was looking at my my PlayStation 2018 in review, and I saw that I got 7 platinums last year. So I'm already way ahead of last year.
You just beat yourself by 1 in the first month.
Yes. So I played
So
that
pretty
one.
much, so your wife's pretty much been pulling you through the month of January, taking care of pretty much everything while you game.
Yeah, I told her, I was like, you know what? I have to play games, so you have to take care of the kids. And it went over
Love you,
pretty
bye.
well. Yeah. Mhm.
Sleeping on the couch gives you lots of extra time to game.
No, I stay up late, way later than she does. So I get a lot of my gaming in after she goes to bed. I'm up till 2 a.m. playing games. Get solid 5 hours of sleep, and I'm good.
There you go.
Then also over the weekend, I played that Anthem demo with my buddy Marc. Or Ronnie.
I was waiting for you to figure
was
it
like-
out.
I was like,
I was waiting for you to say something, and you didn't.
Because you didn't play with me.
And that was fake news. Yeah, I played with Ronnie and Arctic Warlocks, and that game was an utter mess. It crashed on me. I don't know, probably every half hour, maybe even less than that. It crashed all the way back to the home screen. It would glitch out, or I had to restart the game, and it did that constantly. So it was hard for me to get immersed in the game. It was hard for me to actually get into the story, get a feel for it, and larger chunks of gaming. But man, that game, the amount of game that I did play, it was an absolute blast. Just
Nice.
jumping off and using your javelin to fly around. I mean, there is nothing like it. You feel like Iron Man. It was good.
Cool.
What time of day did you play?
What was it? Saturday night? I played.
Huh.
I played Friday night and Saturday night, or Sunday night. I can't remember. It was one of the nights over the weekend that I played with Arctic. And then when Arctic jumped off, I played with Ronnie. So I think that might have been Saturday night, maybe. I don't know.
Interesting. Okay.
So
No, I agree. The game was like so fun. Like just being able to fly around like that, it was awesome. I thought the actual like fighting and stuff in the game was really like that. I thought that part was like really pretty good. Like I didn't really have a lot of issues with that. I had issues with that. Like before you go into the mission, you just like are walking through that town, and you're just basically like there's nothing you can really do except for just like walk to the next mission. I thought that was weird.
You have a jetpack and you're
weird.
walking to the next mission?
No.
You're not in your suit.
Before you get in your suit, you're in this place called Fort Tarsis, and that's where you talk to your team.
Did you say Fort Tartarus?
Yes, Fort Tartarus.
Nice.
So
I'm definitely gonna play this game.
Yeah, you walk
now.
around, and you're just talking to people from your team. You know, mechanics, traders, things like that. You upgrade your javelin to, your different arms, different strengths, different weapons. You can color it, things like that. That's what you do in Fort Tarsis. But once you get out of there, jump in your javelin, that's when you get into the world. When you're in Fort Tarsis, you try to talk to people, and it says, this is not available in the demo. And then you're like, okay, let me talk to the next person. This is not available in the demo. It's over and over again.
The only thing you can do is walk to the mission.
All right.
Yeah, I know.
And why are they making us do this?
Can't give it all away.
Yeah, right. But so that was fun. That's and then there's another open demo coming up this weekend. So hopefully they kind of fix some of the bugs, because I would love to jump back into that game and experience it again.
Cool.
Do you know if it's going to be the same demo?
Yes.
Same levels 10 through 15 or whatever?
Your experience carries over to the demo again this coming weekend. So everything that you got this past weekend, it carries over. And then I did check, and anything you do in the demo does not carry over to the full game.
Yeah, that's because the demo is actually an old build of the game. It's actually not the final build, which is kind of weird, but they basically have the full game and then went back and did the demo for some reason. I
think that makes sense, because I think there's been times in the past when people have played some demos knowing that it was the final product, and are like, I'm good. I played enough of it. I don't need to play anymore or buy it. So I think it's smart to use an older build, kind of leave some mystery, especially those villagers that are like, please don't talk to me. I am a demo.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. I guess that does make sense.
But it was cool.
Cool.
Yeah. Mark, you played it over the weekend, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Did you have the same problems?
So that's why I found it interesting that you were having so many problems with it. Now, Friday, the jank was real. You couldn't even get onto the servers. Like, they had a horrible start to their demo. There were like hours and hours and hours where people just couldn't get on. When I tried to get on, it would like start to load, and then all the loading text would go away, and it was just the main title screen graphic.
Yeah.
And it would never load. Then there were times where it would freeze up while it was during the loading. It was, I guess, called infinite loading loop. But I was actually going to stream it Friday night, but of course that, it was looking more and more as we got closer to the time I was going to stream that it wasn't going to come up. And then like 9:01, it finally let me in, and I was like, okay, yeah, I'm going to go in and stream this. And so I'm like, yeah, I'm going live. Here we go. And I start, and then it crashes on me. And I was like,
oops.
Okay, well, I guess we're done here. And so, but the following morning, which I actually played with Arctic Warlocks with Matt as well in the morning, and it was running great. Everything was running fine. We had a lot of fun. I had already, I did a lot of the missions by myself that morning on my own. So by the time I got to play with Matt, we did just mainly free play. Although I think he did jump in some of the missions with me, but the game is very much, like I talked to you guys about, the game is very much EA's Destiny. It's the way that the gameplay is set up, the way that the missions are set up, the way you customize your character. It just screams Destiny to me. That being said, it's very fun to play. Now, I definitely agree with you guys with Fort Tarsis. Like, they wouldn't let you check out anything. You could talk to a few NPCs here and there, but otherwise everything was just locked. I was like, this is not available in the demo. I was like, well, what can I do other than customize? Like, I didn't even see the forge where you customize your character. Like, I completely missed that. Matt actually had to point that out to me. And
it's very small piece on Fort Tarsis. So unless you know it's there, you're gonna walk right past it.
Yep, absolutely. So yeah, Matt had to point it out to me, but otherwise it was a lot of fun, and it's definitely a great multiplayer experience. I'm interested to see the final build of it for sure. Yeah. But yeah, from what I did play of it when it actually worked, it was great. I enjoyed it. So
yeah, it was fun. I think that there's gonna be a lot of like RPG elements as far as getting loot drops and upgrading your javelin and unlocking all the javelins and upgrading those. I mean, there's gonna be a continual carrot on the stick with this game. I think there is.
The javelins. Need to get those are your backpacks, right?
It's the whole suit, pretty much.
It's your Iron Man.
Oh,
suit.
the whole suit. I gotcha.
Yeah.
Because I keep thinking of like this, like a javelin, like a spear kind of deal.
Sword thing.
Like, upgrading your spears. That sounds cool.
Yeah, and the nice thing is like they have subclasses a lot like Destiny does. I actually, the one I unlocked was the Storm subclass, which that's basically Destiny's Warlock class, only on Anthem. And man, that thing is awesome. Like his each javelin has an ult ability, and mine, the ult for the Storm javelin actually it's like a special attack where it has like 3 different elemental huge explosions. Like there's like snow and water and fire, and there's just these huge explosion drops, and it's just like whoa, OP. I enjoyed that. I'd like to try the other ones, the other subclasses. It was like Interceptor and was it Colossus? I want to say. Colossus is the huge javelin. You can almost like a Hulkbuster kind of thing.
Now, does the Storm javelin also have wind and heart?
Go planet!
That would be amazing.
It would be amazing.
If that
Why
were
not?
the case. So, Mark,
your powers combined. Okay, sorry.
besides this EA Destiny, how's your week been, my brother?
It's good. It's good. Not too much crazy happening, but I'll definitely go over what did happen of note. One of the major things was on Saturday night. We went to a restaurant called Bootleggers, which is actually a burger.
It's a boot?
Restaurant. Yes, it's a boot. It's a giant boot. You
Boot
eat in a
restaurant.
boot.
Edible
Yes.
boots.
If it's
Yum.
not, that's a missed
Sounds
opportunity.
Yep.
Yummy.
Gross. So it's a burger restaurant, craft burger restaurant. That's in downtown Lynchburg. Awesome.
Wait a minute, what's a craft burger?
Basically, not your typical McDonald's burger. Like really nice, good tasting burgers.
So if I grill burgers at my house, are they craft burgers then?
Depends on what you put on it as well. They have different types of burgers. Like,
does it have to be the brand Kraft, like Kraft cheese, Kraft mayo, Kraft?
Yes, you got it. That's
beef.
it. Nailed it.
What kind of bread do I have to have?
Kraft bread. You have to hand make the
Artesian bread.
Artisanal bread.
Whatever.
Artesian. What's that?
I don't know.
I'm artesian. My mommy and daddy made me.
Artesian's a thing, I'm pretty sure. But anyway,
You sure it's not artisanal?
it's probably what you're saying is probably right, and I'm wrong because I know nothing about bread.
I'm probably
apparently.
wrong. I'll go ahead and say it. I'm probably wrong.
Well, one of us is wrong, and that's okay. But no, they have like different types of burgers. Like the one that my wife typically gets is called the Southern Belle, which has like some sort of like not scrambled egg, but like over easy egg or something like that on it, and different types of sauces, and I can't remember exactly what's on it, but they basically have different types of dressed up burgers, if that makes any sense.
So it's a formal restaurant.
I wouldn't go full on formal, like you're not suit and tie, but
Well, you said it's dressed up. I'm sorry.
Like
just-
literal, Lucas, is literal.
It's got like a little tuxedo. It's got its piece of lettuce as a bow tie.
This is a great restaurant. I love it.
I want to go there too.
And
I
the
fly
burger's
to
got
the
a little
US.
tie on it.
So anyway, we had food, and it was good food.
It was dressed up food. I like it.
Fancy.
Fancy food.
Fancy food.
But we had a great time there. And then Sunday we actually took our youth group to an escape room. Have you heard of that?
Yeah.
Yeah, what
Yes.
kind of escape room was it?
It was an
Back to the
escape
Future?
room. No, unfortunately it was not. The theme was called The Heist, where basically
cool.
you were trying to you were in a museum after hours, and you were trying to escape with this really nice fancy diamond necklace, and you had to solve all these puzzles in order to be able to get out. And typically the way that an escape room is set up is you have 60 minutes, and there's all sorts of different puzzles, like logic puzzles and stuff like that, throughout the room, and they quote-unquote lock you in the room, though technically you're not. You can always get out, but the point is to try to get to the final puzzle to be able to open the door and get out within 60 minutes. So you have to follow the succession of puzzles and follow the clues to be able to open these different compartments and stuff. And they did a really good job. Like there was a part where you had to use a black light on these laminated signs, and it would illuminate. There was like the way that it was set up. It was like a museum that had a bunch of sculptures and paintings, paintings on the walls, and each painting had like a description of it. And if you shined a black light on those descriptions, there was an illuminated, like a highlighted letter, and it spelled out, if you went around the room, it spelled out a phrase. And so it basically told you to point this laser pointer, and one of the paintings was the Mona Lisa, and you're supposed to beam the laser at her eye. There was a portion of her eye that was open, and when you shine the laser light at it, it would unlock a compartment in one of the desks
That's
in
so
the
cool.
room. Yeah, and then there was another one where, like, when you put a certain amount of magnets on a table, it would make one of the paintings drop, and it revealed a keypad. And then you had to follow another puzzle to get the keypad combination, and so on and so forth. And we were able to do it in under 60 minutes.
Nice.
Yeah, so we were able to, and you were allowed 2 hints. So we did use our 2 hints, but otherwise, we had a great time with it. We were able to do it in under 60 minutes, which I had taken them to an escape. Yeah, I had taken them to an escape room before, and we went 7 minutes over. So to be able to win this time was awesome, for sure. And I also got to take the kids to my favorite Mexican restaurant in town, because they had never been. The one that
Muchachos.
No, not Muchachos.
Chili's?
Have you said the name of the Mexican restaurant is this the same one you've mentioned before?
Yes, this is the one that my in-laws and I like to go to.
It's
called La Carreta.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So we got to take them there, and they loved it. So that was awesome.
Hey, Mark. Speaking of in-laws, that reminds me of the last escape room I went to. I call it visiting my in-laws.
Oh!
Hey.
Oh! Just
Hey-o.
kidding, John and Shyla. I know you don't listen to the show, but I love you. Hugs and kisses.
And there's the Band-Aid.
Anyways, back to La Carreta.
Yes, so La Carreta was awesome, as always. And then actually that Saturday, going into gaming news for me on the gaming front, I tried to stream some My Little Riding Champion and do part 4 of that.
Yeah.
And then the most unfortunate thing happened.
You were retired.
Yes, I suddenly became retired. Because I went to load the game, went to load my save file, and it wouldn't load at all. Like you just sit there and click on the file, and it's a click, 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 and nothing would happen. I attempted to start a new game on a different, because it has multiple save files. I started a new game on a different file, worked just fine.
So you continued, and you're going to do it all over again, right?
That's a no. That's an absolute no. I will not do that again.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
What will Pamela do?
Suffer, apparently.
And we'll never see the ghost.
Well, I can tell you what the ghost is, and I'm not going back to it, so it's...
All right, well, tell us real quick.
Go ahead.
Who or what's the ghost?
The ghost? So, you know that hermit guy that wouldn't come out of his house?
Oh, gosh, he finally croaked. Kicked the bucket.
No.
Oh.
They found him dead.
That's really dark.
That is dark.
No, there's like a little house. I don't know if it's an outhouse or a shed. I don't know. That's in the back of his house, and you find out that the hermit has locked himself in the smaller shed or whatever,
In
and
the
won't
outhouse.
come out
It
because
sounds funnier that way.
Yeah, it does sound funnier that way. So he's locked himself in the outhouse, and he won't come out because apparently there's a ghost in his house. So you go inside, and you see that there's a box in the corner.
What's in
so
the box?
What's in the box? And so you head toward the box, and it turns out that this ghost that is supposedly in this box is his cat Muffins.
Oh, gosh.
No.
Oh, jeez.
This is the worst game ever.
Wow.
What?
I'm really glad we didn't suffer
What
through
a
that.
letdown.
Yeah.
You're telling me when I looked it up, I was like, "Oh, that's so boring."
Yeah.
That's more of a letdown than Patrick's
Wait a
bear
second.
story.
How long has this cat been in this box to where he said he wasn't going to leave? Because
I
there
don't
was a
know. I
ghost
think
in
at
his
some
house.
point you apparently meet this cat, and then you later find out it's his cat and it's in this box.
Like
So
you do
is
a
this
mission.
cat just
You do
like
you
making
do a-
like noises like.
No, he's a cat you do missions for, and he's like, "Hey, yo, I'm Muffins. So this is what I need you to do. I need you to go out and get me a 40, okay?"
He's a weapons salesman.
Weapon sales.
GTA, My Little Riding Champion. Yeah. But
Weapon salesman.
yeah, apparently the hermit is not smart enough to look in the box and see it's a cat. But you know, it's whatever. But
I think it would give it away when it meowed.
yeah.
Maybe.
Apparently this was a silent kitty. He just liked to run around in the box. But anyway, so yeah, my riding boots have been officially hung up. I will not be returning to My Little Riding Champion. So
Sad news.
so sorry to disappoint.
When did the
So-
zombies come into play?
Unfortunately, there were no zombies.
Oh,
At least not that I could tell.
Burr, burr.
4 out of 5.
Yep.
Or 9 out of 10.
It's the same, you know.
Or you
Either one.
find the cat, and the cat is a zombie.
Zombie
I
cat.
like that game already.
Well, if he's gonna be a zombie, you got to change the name from Muffins. That's like the worst
Yep.
cat name ever.
Zombie cat, zombie cat.
Muffins with a Z.
Nice.
Muffins.
Make it relevant to the kids.
Muffin brains.
But so yeah, couldn't get that to start. I actually uninstalled and reinstalled the game to try and get it to go, and still wouldn't do it. So I was officially done at that point, and instead I just streamed more Anthem. So I got to play a little
Cool.
bit more with Matt, which was
That's-
awesome.
Arctic Warlocks for those who don't
Yes.
know his real name.
I did mention Arctic Warlocks, yes. And then yesterday, I decided on a whim. You know, there's a little game that came out yesterday that people have been waiting for a long time. It's called Kingdom Hearts 3. Decided to come out. Well, not decided. They decided to put the game out. But anyway. But I have never played a Kingdom Hearts before.
Yeah, why not jump into number 3? I
was like,
1, 2, Birth by Sleep, 3.5 by 48, Jiminy Cricket's Monkey Town, all the ones that came before it. Those weren't confusing at all.
Yeah, so not a good idea at all. Last night I decided to stream it at 9 o'clock, and I played it for about an hour, and I was like, this game is not grabbing me at all. It's reminding me why I'm not a huge fan of those types of RPG games.
And you probably had no idea what was going on.
I tried to look up some back history on it and try to figure out what was going on. I was still lost.
It's like the Metal Gear Solid of Disney and of whatever company makes that.
This was like super artsy
Metal
fartsy
Gear.
JRPG kind of stuff. Like, I could not follow it at all, and I wasn't liking the gameplay mechanics and stuff of the game. Now, it's designed beautifully. Like, the game looks awesome, and they got a lot of the actors that play those Disney characters. Like, you know, I went to the Hercules level, and they had the guy who played Hercules, and the guy that plays Hades, James Woods, and the guy that plays Meg, and all those people. And, you know, they got a lot of the actors to voice those characters, which, I mean, that's that Square Enix money, but, you know, and Disney money.
Yep.
But yeah, I played an hour of it, and I was like, no, I'm done.
Probably had no idea what was going on. And that's what I mean by the Metal Gear Solid of the Disney video game realm. It's because the story is so convoluted. I have a friend, Gabriel. Well, we have a friend, actually. He listens to the show, Gabriel Pavon. He loves Kingdom Hearts. And I remember, like, one of the first times I met him, we were talking about video games, and he's like, have you ever played Kingdom Hearts? I almost said Kingdom Farts. And,
that's a better game already.
That sounds fun. But he asked me if I had played it before, and I was like, no, I haven't played it. But he told me the story, and I was like, that's cool. But it is totally convoluted and totally confusing. But it's pretty good from what I hear if you make it through all the games and all that jazz.
For sure. So I think next I'm actually... Oh, and before I say that, actually... So today was actually my day off, and so I was like, I'm going to play some Xbox today. I'm going to, get on there and see what's going on. And my Xbox would not boot up at all. Like, it would boot up, but it wouldn't boot to the dashboard. And I'm like, what is going on? So I thought my Xbox was like messing up. I thought it was broken. And so, I tried doing a hard reset. I tried doing all this stuff. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'm going to have to factory reset this thing. And so I go ahead and do it. And then I see a tweet from Xbox support saying that they are hearing a lot of reports encountering issues with Xbox startup and title update and all that kind of stuff. We are investigating this matter. And it's like, oh, okay, so it's not my fault. It's Xbox's fault. And so for a good 2-3 hours or more today, my Xbox and many, many people's Xboxes around the world would not boot up. And but finally, I was able to get it to boot back up, but then it wouldn't download anything for some reason, and I couldn't understand why. And so finally, I just restarted my modem altogether, and then finally it just decided to start downloading again. So, but yeah, there was a huge blackout today. So
doesn't it comfort you to know that when the apocalypse happens or the zombie apocalypse or any kind of apocalypse and we don't have use of the internet, that your Xbox is going to be just a big brick that you can't use because it has to always be connected to the internet?
I'm so happy for that. So excited.
Can't wait.
And I was like, oh, thankfully there's PS4. So I switched to the PS4 for a little bit. But yeah, that's pretty much my week at a glance.
Ronnie, how about you, buddy? What's going on?
Well, I did play some Anthem, as Patrick alluded to earlier. I really enjoyed that game, and probably will definitely play this weekend some, and then
wait, probably or definitely?
I mean, I like to make definite plans, you know.
Yeah, you like to probably make definite plans.
I like to probably, you know, give a high probability that I would be there.
Speaking of definite plans, for the 16th time, did you happen to watch a movie that rhymes with Pancake Man?
What?
I mean, I could have said...
You said rhyme. I don't think that word means what you think it means.
I could have said, did you watch a movie that rhymes with Pooper Man?
I just thought you were doing one of those haikus.
Come Pooper Man?
No, I did not.
All right. Well, did you...
I did think about it.
Go ahead.
Once.
Yeah, I'm sure you thought about it real hard.
Very quick, but I did think about it.
But I'm sure you watched another random movie, or you just happened to run into a movie theater and watch some... I don't know.
I did
can
watch
only
a movie.
imagine. Yeah, you did. What'd you watch?
I watched another Marvel movie.
Yes.
Ooh.
Which one?
You guys want to take random guesses?
Sure. Is it Ant-Man?
Mark, what's your guess?
I'm gonna go with Ant-Man as well.
Patrick?
Guardians of the Galaxy.
It was... You're all right. Iron Man.
Gosh. Oh, jeez.
No, so I watched the first Iron Man. It came across my DVR, and I was sitting there last night. I was like, I'm going to watch it. So I stayed up and watched it, and I got to be honest, I loved it. I thought it was
Nice.
awesome.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
can't go wrong with
Like,
Tony Stark.
Like, I went in completely blind. Like, I didn't know any backstory or anything about Tony Stark or Iron Man, like pretty much nothing. But I will say, the thing that surprised me about it was more of an adult movie than I thought it was going to be. I mean, like, at the beginning, like the first half of this movie, like, I didn't know that Tony Stark was like a billionaire playboy.
Yeah.
No clue. And so it was like a little bit of a shock to me. I was like, oh, I thought this was a kid's movie. This is like, you know.
Oh, yeah. He's the Batman of the Marvel universe.
Yep, that's pretty much it. But I really like how they did that, like the movie, and they like told the story of how Iron Man came, like him building that suit like in the cave and then busting out of there, and like the first like version of the suit, like that was sweet.
Yeah, that was an awesome scene.
Yes.
Yeah, that was that was pretty awesome. And then at the end when they basically battles like his business partner in like the new prototype suit. That was a good one. Yeah, that was a pretty good one. But honestly, other than that,
Jeff Bridges impression.
I didn't do anything. I played some video games, watched Iron Man. That's really all that happened in my week.
That's productive. You watched one of the 20... Well, one of the... Yeah, now you've watched 2 of the 20 Marvel MCU movies, right?
I gotta stay on pace, you know?
You're on your
Well,
way.
First
when you
and
said-
the latest.
When you said that you went in blind and watched Iron Man for the first time, I mean, like, that's pretty much what a lot of people did, you know,
Yep.
other than the comic book people, when they watched Iron Man for the first time. They had no idea who Iron Man was. I was one of those people. I didn't know who Iron Man was.
Well, and
So
I'm
going
pretty
in
sure...
I didn't-
fresh, not knowing what it is, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, and you picked a good one because that's actually considered the first, like, MCU movie. Like, anytime you want to start the MCU, you start with Iron Man. So that was an excellent choice. Way better than our
That's
guesses.
pretty good. I have Iron Man 3 also on my DVR.
Please watch 2 first. Don't go just to 3.
I
Okay.
don't think I can do that.
Two is
I
one
want
of
to
the
see
worst.
I totally want to see where the story goes. So
2's not as bad once
um,
you've watched the others, but yeah, you still need to watch it. You got to build.
yeah, I definitely
Watch
will do
it
that.
once and then put it away.
Yep, agreed.
Why? So two's the one that's like not as good.
Yes,
Gotcha.
I would say at least.
Yeah, I feel like the second movie's always the worst.
Seconds tend to struggle. In the MCU universe, actually, the second ones tend to struggle.
Really?
Yeah.
Sure.
You ever see Anchorman 2?
No.
It's horrible. It is like the worst.
Yeah, I don't think I watched that one. I
It's
did
like
watch.
nothing but punchline jokes.
I did watch Grown Ups 2, which was also horrible.
It was horrible. It was horrible. Lucas, can you top that weekend?
I don't know if I did, man.
/week.
I don't know if I did. I don't know if I can. But I'll do my best. I also watched a Marvel movie. Actually, tonight, before we recorded the podcast, I watched a little Ant-Man that's partly why I guessed, because you had mentioned Ant-Man last week, and I thought, hey, we could be Marvel buddies. Both watched Ant-Man this week, but then you ruined it. So
Yeah, I have. Well, I mean, if you had given me some kind of heads up,
yeah, I guess. Yeah, like you would have been like, oh, I'll watch it right now.
I'm watching. I'm watching.
You'd
Iron
see
Man
my
for sure.
You'd see my text and be like, oh, look, another reason not to watch what they asked me to watch.
Yeah, the more heat you put on me, the more I evade.
Yeah, exactly. But I watched that tonight with the wife. That was very good. I like Paul Rudd's is so funny, and I love those MCU movies where they just they take it seriously, but and the same's true with Iron Man. It was definitely a more adult take on it with some of the things that happen, but the jokes are just so good, and they'll put them jokes in the serious times. They'll put them in pretty much everywhere they can. So I like it.
That's like a really witty style of humor, like Tony Stark's entire personality.
Oh yeah,
he's extremely witty and takes absolutely nothing serious. Like one of the funniest parts in the movie is when he's talking to his buddy at the army base, and those fighter jets are trying to shoot him down, and he's talking to him like he's just driving a car.
Right.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Well, this past week, I want to wish a happy belated birthday to Sao Paulo. On Friday, it turned 465 years old.
Whoa.
That's pretty old. If you didn't know it, it's actually named after the Apostle Paul. Sao Paulo is Portuguese for Saint Paul, who, according to tradition, converted to Christianity on January 25th. Now, that's Catholic tradition, not biblical tradition. It's the largest city in the Western Hemisphere and was officially started in tandem with a Jesuit college and became the metropolis it is today, thanks mostly in part due to the coffee exportation. And so to celebrate 465 years of Sao Paulo's birthday, I took my family and we ate at a food court, also known as a mall court. Went to a grocery store, and in the parking lot, I almost hit 2 kids with my car.
That's a good day.
Fun stuff.
What a great day. So we got to the grocery store, right? And it being a holiday, all the kids are off from school. And one of the very common things to do around here is to fly kites. And the parking lot and the surrounding areas were covered with kids flying kites. Well, these kids were flying kites. Yeah, I know. Kites.
The common thing to do is to fly kites in a parking lot?
Yeah, forget video games, forget watching Netflix. Hanging out with your cell phones. These kids love to fly kites. And they just...
We've been doing it wrong.
Yeah, we really have. And these kids don't
doing it away from cars.
Yeah, well, these
Not
kids...
that interesting.
These kids don't just stand there and fly the kite. They run with the kite. They lead the kite every which way. And so we pull into the grocery store, and these kids are running all over the parking lot with these kites. So I'm trying to keep an eye out. I'm like, these kids are not paying attention.
Yeah, because they're not keeping an eye out. All they're doing is looking up.
They're just looking up at their kites. And so we pull in, park, go get our groceries. We bring our groceries out. We get in the car, and we're pulling out. I'm talking to my wife, and for a split second, I have forgotten about the kite kids. And all of a sudden, in my peripherals, I see on my right a blur. And I look over, and these kids, like a group of 5 kids, are running with this kite. And they run right in front of me, and I nick a kid, bump him. I bumped him pretty good. I didn't just nick him. I knocked him over. And
you did hit a kid.
Yeah, no, I did. Well, I guess I said I almost hit 2 kids.
I did not think you were going there.
And so
that was a 1-star in GTA.
But it wasn't a hard hit, but it was definitely it was enough to where he at least started to move because of it. And I stop and I roll my window down to be like, kids, are you okay? The kids okay?
Hope you learned your lesson.
And yeah. That's what you get, kids, for running in front of my car. Well, and I was about ready to get out, and those kids, that kid got up, and then the rest of the kids, they just keep running, looking at the kite. And the other kid's just like, yeah, I'm cool. And then he just keeps going. And I'm like, what?
It wasn't his first time.
Yeah, that was definitely not his first time. So
he's got some battle wounds.
After that, my wife and I are just like, man, we got to get out of here. We got to go home. These kids are crazy. And we pull out, and we have to do a little U-turn. And when we're doing a U-turn, another kid jumps in front of the car this is on a road doing a U-turn. A kid runs in front of the car. This time, my senses are heightened, and I'm, looking out for every kid and kite that I can see. And I stop the car this time. Kid doesn't even pay attention to me. He keeps walking with his kite across the road, only paying attention to it. And so I honk my horn and consider rolling down the window to say anything, like, you know what? We just need to go home. So we just went.
I thought you were gonna say you hit another kid.
No. When I say I almost hit 2 kids, I really mean I hit 1 kid, but I didn't hit the second kid. So I was technically telling the truth. To recap, I hit 1 kid.
You hit 1 kid.
Uh-huh.
You saw another kid in the road, and then decided to just drive on.
Well, if I wouldn't have stopped, no, I stopped.
You're on your own, kid.
Like it was a stray dog.
Well, he's like, it wasn't like a toddler. It was like a teenage kid. So I'm not going to be like, you go home to your mommy and daddy and you tell them what you're doing. I stopped and let him cross the street. And then I can.
Yeah,
then
like 3 miles. 3 miles later, he's like, "Where's mommy? Where's daddy?"
They just gave me this kite and then they said, "Go have fun," and I haven't seen him since.
It's the backlog completing, kid hitting Lucas Ham Swisher.
That's me.
Oh, jeez.
Hitting kids. You send them out, I'll hit them.
Now I wish you just would have let off with, "Well, I hit a kid this week."
Do they have social services in Brazil? I really hope they don't.
They do.
If
but
they
I don't
do,
know if
they're at the parking
always
lot.
paying attention. Yeah, that is for sure. But that wasn't my only moment of. Well, I mean, that one actually wasn't my fault. But later on, on Sunday, I showed
Hold
a
on.
little. Hold on.
That wasn't my fault. Is there you gonna hit another kid?
No,
But
no.
this one was.
This kid hit.
This one.
So my son. No,
Little
I'm just
jerk
kidding.
jumped out in front of him.
This is why we had to re-record on Wednesday instead of Monday.
Yeah, exactly.
You're in
Go
jail.
to
Bail
court.
Lucas out of jail.
So my son walked in front of me the other day, and I just punched him right in the face, right in that redheaded face of his.
Boom! Right in the kisser.
No, this next part does not involve children, but it does
That's
involve
good.
early onset dementia. So I'm the breakfast cooker in my house. I'm in charge of all breakfasts, whether it's eggs, cereal, toast, you name it, I do it. Pour that cereal for my kids, put some milk in there, you got it. On Sunday, we usually like to make a bread called pão de queijo, and I was going to make it. It takes an hour to cook because it's just a type of flour that you have to cook kind of slowly, but over a long period of time. And so I got it out, made it up, put it on the pan, turned on the oven, and then I thought I was cooking it. Well, an hour later, after I'd been doing other things, we got ready for church. This is Sunday morning, like I said, and we have about 30 minutes to eat breakfast, or 20 minutes. And I go into the kitchen to see how the pão de queijo's doing, and it's still on top of the oven. I did not. I did not put it in the oven, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, I have early onset dementia," and so that's the real reason we didn't record on Monday, because I was wandering the streets looking for my kite in my pajamas. No, I don't know if you guys have had this recently, but as I get older, I really think by the time I hit 40, I'm gonna have to be put into a home, because sometimes I just do some stuff that I'm just like, man, I am lucky my wife's taking care of me, because I got some problems sometimes. So, but enough of my problems. Moving on to the fun things in life. This week we watched Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. What a classic.
Nice.
Man.
Yes, it is.
I don't
It's
know
one of
what
my
brought it
favorite
up.
movies growing up.
Was it? Man, it was one of mine
Yeah.
too. What a classic adventure with the McAllister and Thompson kids. And I forgot how much the death of Auntie really hits you in the feels. Like, spoilers, they befriend an ant, and then the ant dies later. And I was sitting there watching the
it's a sad
movie,
one.
and I didn't cry, but I was like, oh man, I forgot how much this hurts. And my son's just like, huh, that ant's dead. And he just moved on. And I'm like, what? What do you mean?
Cold-hearted.
Yeah, it's
Apparently
like,
your son is dead inside.
Cold-blooded.
apparently. I'm like, I remember like getting a little emotional when I was a little kid. And he's just like, the ant died.
Huh.
It's too bad. See ya.
Shouldn't have fought that scorpion.
I know, right?
I got a scorpion in the backyard.
What was he thinking?
Should have let that Thompson kid die instead of the ant. Auntie was way cooler than that blonde jerk kid. Anyways, I've already said mean things and done mean things to kid already this week. I better stop. After watching that movie, we did watch Pokemon I Choose You. For those parents that like to watch series and movies with kids, I also recommend Pokemon. It's just good old fun. I don't know how much you watch stuff. You're shaking your head, Patrick. I don't know how much you watch shows or movies with your kids. I know you watch, classics like WALL-E and Incredibles with your kids. But for you parents out there, I want to make sure, don't just turn on shows for your kids and let them watch it. Pay attention sometimes, not just for the content, but a lot of times you miss out on like teaching moments. Even with watching Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, watching this Pokemon movie, as silly as it is sometimes, I really love like when there's a cool message or an interesting moment, and then my kids ask me about it, like, why did that happen, or why did they do that? And you really have good opportunities to kind of teach your kids good things in life just through silly movies. 2 weeks ago, I watched. Oh, go ahead.
I had one of those moments tonight.
Did you?
With my daughter. We were watching the Titan games with The Rock.
Yeah.
And
future Batman.
These guys and girls that are on this, I mean, these guys, they have huge muscles, abs of steel. These guys who are working out, 14 hours a week, 7 days a week. So she had made a comment about one of the guys' abs, and I paused it and I looked at her, and I was like, I want to talk to you about abs.
Let's talk abs.
I just looked at her. I was like, hey, some people don't have abs like that. Some do. I was like, it does not matter what they look like on the outside. It's what they are on the inside. She looked at me. She was like, I know, Daddy. And then we played it, and then we watched the rest of it. But yeah, definitely sit there and watching with your kids. I was like, any segue that you can find while watching with something with your kids to give them an educational moment, an inspirational moment, life-changing, something like that, then definitely just don't turn on the show and walk away.
Yeah. If there's one show I can recommend, if you haven't watched it, Patrick, I recommend it, especially for Clark. He would love it. But if you ever watched Lego Ninjago on Netflix, that is an excellent show to watch.
No, we haven't watched that yet.
They're short little, 20-minute shows, but man, in the third season, something happens, and at the end of the season, my wife and I cried while we were watching it with our kids. Like,
whoa.
It was like super heavy, but at the same time, like one of those self-sacrificing moments that kind of teach your kids about, self-sacrificing, giving for the good of others. It was so good. So I want to heavily recommend for any parents listening, watch some Lego Ninjago with your kids. It's really fun, and it's very meaningful. Beyond that, we also watched Wi-Fi Ralph a couple weeks ago. I failed to mention that, but man, I can't wait to watch that movie in English because I watched it in Portuguese.
What's Wi-Fi Ralph?
Oh, sorry, that's the name in Brazil. They call Ralph Breaks the Internet. I think that's what it's called in English, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So
Wreck-It Ralph 2.
Wreck-It Ralph 2. Here they call it Wi-Fi Ralph. I forgot about that. So I watched it in Portuguese with my kids a couple weeks ago, and man, I can't wait to watch that movie in English because I enjoyed it, and I got, it talked about friendship, and it was a good movie, but sometimes you just got to watch stuff in English. That's all I got to say about that. So it's just on the gaming front, this week I beat Lego City Undercover and Broken Sword 5, which apparently was part one of 2 parts that I didn't realize what I was getting into. So I got to the end of part 1, and they're like, well, let's continue the journey. And I'm like, oh, I guess I have to wait and play part 2. Thankfully, I have that. But I also realized it doesn't have a platinum trophy, which was a little disappointing, but I got over it.
Boo.
I still got all the trophies, so I got 100%. It's like a little P platinum. Also started Kung Fu Panda Showdown of Legendary Legends with my kids. And
what a name.
Yeah, I know, right?
That's awesome.
Some would say it is like a Super Smash Brothers with pandas and other furry creatures, but I haven't played that game very much. I will confess that I've played very little of Super Smash Brothers. But it did remind me of another game that I loved and got 2 platinums with, and that I think, Patrick, you should get 2 platinums with. PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale. That one's a good one. You should play it.
Wait,
with your
do you
kids.
have that on PS4 or Vita?
It's Vita and PS3, but for sure Vita. You probably won't break out your PS3 for it, but for your Vita, you can definitely break it out.
I have it on Vita.
Yeah.
I played it maybe 5-10 hours when it came out. It was like a bargain bin immediately.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
yeah.
You might have another platinum then on your hands. It might. I think if I remember right, it's a little bit of a grind, so you might not like to play it. And then the last game I'm going to mention is Bulletstorm. That was free on PS Plus. It's kind of like a Borderlands mixed with Gears of War with a touch of Indiana Jones because you have an electric whip that you grab people with. It's pretty fun. So I did a little gaming this past week for sure. It was a good time. But I have to confess something before we get into our topic.
Uh-oh.
I think I'm going to have to give up on streaming.
Oh.
Like consistent streaming. Let me tell you. Now, I'm going to have to get it. I'm just going to have to tell you that I keep running to these complications and it's just not working out for me. I can't figure out how to work with the GMG channel and also my account, doing account sharing. I really thought it would be a lot easier and they don't really make it so you can like share it with people very easily. But that's not the biggest thing. That's like a minor inconvenience. The biggest thing for me is my chat since day one, and I've messed with everything. I've Googled everything. My chat, whether I'm streaming or someone else is streaming, it randomly works. Like sometimes it does.
What is that about?
I don't know. My only guess is that I'm streaming from Brazil. My account is an American account, and I don't know. There's some kind of disconnect between the two. I don't know anybody that has an American account that streams from Brazil, so I have no other examples to go off of. So that's what I'm guessing is the only difference between me and you guys is that we all have American accounts, but I'm streaming from Brazil, so I don't know if that messes up stuff in any way. So for me, the chat thing is the biggest thing because the whole reason I want to do it, I don't want to get a whole bunch of followers and like make a bunch of money off streaming. I just want to interact with people while I game. And when it doesn't work, people don't stick around or, I'm just talking to myself and I can do that on my own. I don't have to stream that. So I'm going to have to say for now, it's not going to be very common for me to stream, but I will try my best to keep up with you guys and be involved in that when I can, to be involved in your guys' streams. So with that, it is what it is. And that concludes Grandpa Ham's Confusion Corner and talking about streaming. Sometimes
that needs to be a thing.
Yeah, Grandpa Ham's Confusion Corner. Sometimes I wish I wasn't such a grandpa, but what can I do? Speaking of wishes, let's get into our topic, shall we? Today's topic is brought to us by Patrick. Am I right? What? Our brother Patrick, who's apparently forgetting, suggested that we talk about making wishes. But it's not just inspired by Patrick. We're talking about making wishes, making 3 wishes.
Before we get into all that, I do have 2 wishes that I want to get out of the way.
What? All right.
I want to wish Chad Fackler happy birthday.
Oh! Hey! Happy birthday! Parabéns!
And Bad Gamer Elite, Lem Fillyaw.
Yeah, Lem. Happy birthday, guys.
Yeah.
2 community members having a happy
birthday.
Yep.
Nice. That should have been the real segue. That was a way better segue than mine. Oh well. We'll just do both. This topic of wishing is actually not just inspired by Patrick. It's also inspired by a variety of movies, at least on my part, such as Aladdin, Pinocchio, Big with Tom Hanks, 13 going on 30, and one of my favorite movies about wishes, Liar, Liar. Maybe one of the best wish movies in the history of wish movies.
That's a good one.
This pen is wrong. royal blue.
I'm not even going to try to do a quote. That movie's just too funny. Blah, 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 blah. So, guys, tonight we're going to be talking about if we had 3 wishes, what would they be and why? And tonight with our 3 wishes, we will be applying the following wishing rules as told by Robin Williams' classic character, Genie, in the Disney film Aladdin. We cannot kill anyone. We cannot make anyone fall in love or bring anyone back from the dead, and no wishing for more wishes. So, let's start by sharing our first wish, and then we can proceed with a little round robin from there. And I will add in some questions towards the end and share some other wishes that our Discord members made later on. So, who wants to begin with their first wish?
I'll start us off.
Do it, Ronnie.
I wish to make enough money for my family and friends to live comfortably for the rest of their lives.
Like, is this like craft money? Like, are you making it with your hands?
Like the Kraft burgers?
Like craft burger money, yes.
Craft burger money? And when you say your friends, like, how far does this extend? Does it extend to, like, is this
No,
only
probably-
best friends and best family? Or
Yeah,
is
we're
this
probably
like,
talking about a crew of about 5.
Oh, okay. So, why don't you make it a
So
little more
3 of us,
specific?
and then who else?
Yeah, who are the other 2 people? Who are the 5 people?
Said more, I guess, now that I have to include everybody.
I'm gonna have to be making.
No, I would
lots
say
more
like
craft burgers.
my, like my immediate family and basically all parts of my family are actually like pretty close. Like my mom and her sisters like we're constantly doing dinner every week and stuff. So my close family and my close friends.
Okay. So enough money for them to be set the rest
live,
of their lives.
Just
now,
live comfortably.
for them to okay. So like, is this for them to go crazy, like winning the lottery, or is this just to cover their needs? And
yeah, I felt like that was grabbing. I felt like that was
vacation.
grabbing too much. You don't need a Ferrari, but if everybody can live comfortably,
Okay.
I'll take that.
Now, do you think that anyone of the 5 people would comfortably mean like a mansion, or would they be cool with like a little shack in the woods?
I mean, they'd probably be all right with a little shack in the woods as long as it had like Wi-Fi. Probably
Got to have that Wi-Fi, baby.
Wi-Fi, maybe a PlayStation or Xbox in there.
All right, that's
Would be
cool.
fine.
Now, are you going to keep money for yourself, or are you just wishing for money to take care of the 5 friends and family?
I said make enough money to take care of them. So, yes, I was thinking myself also.
Okay.
But I'll take a hit. I'll be the poor one if they can all live comfortably.
Yeah, because magic always has a price if you've watched movies, read books, and all that stuff. So you said
There's always a
them.
twist.
Yeah.
There is always a twist. That's true.
You might
I mean,
have
if
to-
I have to be poor for everybody to live comfortably, I would definitely do that. These are the people that that are really close to me. The people that you care about. I think we would all probably sacrifice a bunch for them.
I'm sure they'd throw you a bone every now and again.
Probably.
All right.
Maybe a craft burger.
Craft burger, handmade.
Kraft bone.
Handmade craft burger. Might not be cooked, but it'll be good.
Be
Patrick,
dressed up.
how about you, buddy? What's your first wish?
I'm gonna go along the same lines with the money, but I'm gonna do it a little differently. I don't have like a set number to live comfortably or a set number to continue on and live in my life. But every time that I reach into a pocket, I pull out a $20 bill.
That is nice.
Pretty nifty.
All right.
So the reason why it's a $20 bill and not like a $100 bill,
I'm sorry,
I don't
real
want
quick.
I don't want people to.
I'm
What's
just
up?
envisioning you in a car lot. You're like, hold on. Wait for it.
You get to reach in your pocket.
just give me a second.
I'm
like an hour
I'm gonna
later,
start wearing
you're-
cargo shorts.
You're handing them 20s like out of your pocket. You're like, wait, I'm almost there. How far do I have to go?
That would totally be the catch. You could only
Yeah.
get $20 bills at a time. You could never buy anything large.
It's like, what are you doing this weekend? Just reaching into pockets.
Every pocket I have here.
All right. I'm sorry. You continue. So why is it a 20 instead of 100?
I don't want it to be 20 because I don't want to draw attention to myself.
Yeah,
Because if
I
I
was
pull
just
out
thinking that.
like 10 $100 bills, man, I'm going to get jumped, and then I won't have clothes. I won't have pockets. So I don't want that to happen. And I don't want to draw attention like, hey, this guy just robbed a bank. He's got a briefcase full of 100s.
I'm sorry.
You
wait.
could just tell him. You could just tell him you'll pay him whatever in
I just-
$100 bills then, right?
just-
And just reach into your pocket a few times and pay everybody off.
I just envisioned someone like robbing you, and they're like, "Give me everything in your pocket." You're like, "Here." And they're like, "Is that everything?" And you're like, "Wait, here." You just keep handing him 20s until the cops come.
No, because
that would be awesome.
Because if I do that, then I'm gonna give away my superpower. I would say, "Hey, there's nothing left. You can check yourself," and then nothing else is in there.
You're gonna let that dude reach into your pocket? That's a little creepy.
I don't know. He's got the gun. There's a gun in this
true.
scenario, probably.
All right.
Probably.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right.
That's mine.
That's
Mark, what about you?
It's an interesting one.
I guess I'm gonna keep the money theme going along here. Yeah, basically, I would wish that money was no longer an issue for myself or any of my family. Basically, like, if we ever needed a certain amount of money, we just
Call me.
automatically had it.
It's there.
Yep.
Charge it to my debit card.
So yeah, for sure, that would be my first wish. Now there's always an issue with it being the money. I go with that because I don't want to be so selfish that all my wishes are just for me. But there's always an issue because you're gonna always have people asking for money all the time.
All right.
And then it like basically changes the dynamic of your relationship with people.
Yeah.
But I'm willing to take that risk in order to basically help people where they need to, and it's basically no longer an issue.
Okay. Well, for my first wish, I went all, well, I wouldn't say all selfish, but I went with what I like really wanted. I didn't go the money route. I went with, I want to have the supreme man cave. The man cave of man caves. That is like
Nice.
That is like huge and stacked with all the
Huge.
food and drink, movies, every video game ever created and known to man, with 4K.
There's like a tumbler vehicle parked in
everything. Everything. Whatever you need, whatever would should go in a man cave is in this man cave.
A lifetime supply of craft burgers.
Including a teleportation device that I can teleport anyone I want to my man cave. That's a part of it. I like to stack my wishes into
Whoa.
multiple things, but it's a fully stacked
So,
man
hold on.
cave.
If you're gonna have a teleportation device in your man cave, does there have to be another teleportation device somewhere else, or is
No,
there like a wristband you're using? What are you doing?
I got Scotty from Star Trek, and he can grab you. Get all she's got. Can grab you from
She
anywhere
can't take
you
much
are.
longer.
So you got Scotty in your man cave now. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he
That's
can
kinda creepy.
grab you from anywhere and teleport you to my man cave, and we can hang out, play
he's
video
the
games,
butler.
watch movies. He's the bartender. He's the butler. He crafts burgers. He does it all. So
Ladies and gentlemen,
I have it
Star
written
Trek
down. I have it written down
Martinis on
before we
James Dewey.
before we even talked about it. Crafts burgers. It was there.
He's a burger blacksmith.
That's right. Ching, ching. So yeah, just the ultimate man cave. Video games and movies galore. Good stuff. So that's my
Who
first
would have
wish.
ever guessed that Lucas brings the selfish one?
Yeah.
You know, if everybody laid money down,
And
it
who would
would
have ever
definitely been
guessed
on
that
me.
he's gonna have a
I'm
bartender?
sure he's got some other ones ready.
Oh, he's gonna melt us with the second and third.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, I only mentioned bartender because I know I have friends, Patrick and Ronnie, who have mentioned special drinks on a number of occasions. So I'm just looking out for you. I mean,
Spirits.
I'll
That's a nice
for
word.
sure be going up to the bartender and be like, "Hey,
Spirits.
give me a vodka and water. Hold the vodka," or asking for
Shirley
that
Temple.
virgin margarita. I don't do no Shirley Temple. That's for girls.
What?
I do virgin
Oh, so
margarita. So good.
I'll also have a vodka and water, and you can have my water, and I'll take your vodka and mine.
Fantastic. I got you covered. So that's my first wish. All right, let's loop back to Ronnie. What is your
Number 2.
second wish? Number 2.
So my first is and second are pretty similar. I wish that my family and friends live happily for their whole lives.
Aw,
That's sweet.
so sweet. Now, what would that look like? You need to give us some specifics. You can't be all like Miss
I think
Universe or
what-
Miss America and be like peace and on earth. I need to hear, like, what would make some people happy? Like, what kind of things would, when you make that wish, what would that do for your mom?
I would say they would probably buy like a bigger house. Like they live basically like I pretty much grew up like on a horse farm, but I could see her having like a giant horse farm. It just would have to be one that she didn't take care of.
I forgot you're our real life little riding champion.
Pretty much, yeah.
Nice.
Pretty much.
Okay.
But no, I think it would look different for everybody. Like I think like my stepdad like, probably look like a 1969 convertible red Camaro. Probably be what it looked like for him. So, but yeah, I didn't include myself in that one either.
Look at you being all selfless.
Crap.
Cool. Patrick, second wish.
My second one would be to eliminate cancer. From the world.
Boom. Love it.
Man, that
Now,
is a
the
good
reason
one.
why I say that is there is a lot of cancer that has happened in my life, both to my family and friends. There's, 3 individuals that I graduated with, all died from cancer within the past couple of years. And that's way too early for someone to die from cancer. And then a lot of my older, my aunts and uncles and grandparents, the Alzheimer's hit them really hard, and it was hard on my parents. So I don't want that to happen to my parents. I don't want it to happen to me, and I don't want anybody else to go through that hurt. So I would love to get rid of all the cancer.
It's good. I like it.
Like a
Yeah,
lot.
you're gonna have to follow that up now, Mark.
Yeah.
Hopefully, you didn't bring something selfish after that.
Yeah, mine's totally selfish.
Nice. Well, I mean, cancer's cured, so that's covered. So what's left for you to be not selfish about?
So initially, when I was thinking of my second wish, I was like, man, I just would love to be able to fly, the ability to fly. And I thought about that for a second, and I was like, do you know how horrible flying would actually be if you tried to do it? Like birds getting in your way when you're trying to fly, and like flying into the flight path of airplanes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
How
That
fast you
would
could be
be-
flying though?
I mean,
Could you just slow down?
if you don't go
guess-
fast, how boring is that? Like, look at me floating.
You can have like a cruise speed to where you can see a bird.
But if
coming
you-
and
I wish
take one
I
of
had the
teeth.
ability to hover.
Just imagine a car that goes on a long trip, like a road trip. How many bugs are on that windshield? That would be your face when you're flying. Bugs
You'd have
hitting
to
you
have
in
the
the
whole
face,
Iron Man suit.
going down your throat. Yeah.
So I decided not to go with flight, but instead, it's funny that you mentioned teleporting, because my second wish is the ability to teleport.
Ooh, nice. I did think of that one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
What if you and your wife wanted to go somewhere together though? Could you teleport her? Because
Yeah,
if
you-
only
Yes.
you could teleport, that
No,
would
you
be
hold
your
her
curse
hand.
right there.
That's how you make
Yeah,
up.
if I'm connected to her,
I'm leaving. I'll see you there in 8 hours.
Find your own way.
what took you so long?
Hey, if money's not an issue, she can buy an airplane to take her to where you are. So you already covered her with
That's
the first
true.
wish.
It's very true. And my teleporting ability, I would be able to basically sense where I was teleporting and make sure that there's nobody around, or that I'm not going to run into something when I teleport there. So yeah, that would be my second wish.
You're not gonna get dropped in like in the middle of like a convenience store.
What the heck?
Oh, jeez. All right, my second wish is to become. It's again semi-selfish. Is to become the master of communication, and that means I would wish to be fluent in any and every language, including body language and animal language.
Animals, yes.
Yes. And telepathy, which is
Ooh.
maybe a metaphysical language.
You are stacking your wishes, and I don't think this is.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm a master of communication, so and I would
You
use
can't believe
it.
you have all selfish ones so far.
So, when I thought of this one, I actually didn't have myself in mind. Like, what I'm going to do with it, it's going to be a source of income, because with being able to speak any language, especially being able to do telepathy and all that stuff, I'll be able to make money very easily in a variety of legal and honest ways. But the main reason I thought about this was because for me, in doing the ministry that I'm doing, if I was completely fluent in Portuguese and able to communicate with everyone around me, like, there would be so many more things I could get done. Like, it really, the main application for me is for ministry, like connecting with different cultures, being able to help people and share about God, share about, trying to connect different cultures and nations, kind of be like a person, a peacekeeping person, that kind of stuff. So when I say I want to be the master of communication, it's not just so I can make money or be cool. It's mainly for ministry and for making the world a better place. So it's selfish and then came all the way around to not selfish. That's right.
Save that.
That's right.
Take that, Ronnie.
Yeah. All right.
I jumped the gun.
Yeah.
Put that in your metaphorical pipe and smoke it.
Third wish. Here we go.
Let's hear it.
So my 3 wishes are basically all exactly the same. My third wish is that I wish Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson was my best friend.
Of course.
The future Batman. Best buds with Ronnie. Nice.
The Rock says Ronnie's my BFF.
So, Ronnie, what would be the first thing you would do with The Rock as best friends?
Oh man, that's a good one. I think The Rock would be awesome to like play video games with.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Yep.
Just sit down and just game it up with him.
Hey, Rock, game it up.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, Dwayne, how's it going, buddy?
You little kids might have beat us, but this is The Rock on my side.
Eat it, kids. Eat it, 12-year-old.
All right. My third wish is I would like to shapeshift like Shang Tsung from Mortal Kombat.
Now, wait. When you say like Shang Tsung,
first-
are you going to suck their souls out?
No, I can just change into him.
All right. So more like Mystique.
Like him, not exactly
you're-
the way he does it.
You're blue. You're blue.
He didn't say he wanted to be him.
Your soul is mine.
First person that I'm going to shapeshift into is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. And I'm going to hang out.
Yes!
Yes. Nice.
Yes.
It's fantastic. And then years later, Ronnie discovers that he's not actually friends with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, but still friends with Patrick.
I feel like I'd be happy with an imposter, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Oh, gosh, that's hilarious. So you'd be a shapeshifter. What would you do with that besides be best friends with Ronnie? Is there anything else that you thought of before Ronnie said that that you would do with the
I would
shapeshifting?
mess with people so much.
And then they would bust you to be like, I cured cancer. Get off my back. I can do whatever I want.
Yeah, I mean, I got all the money in the world. The cancer's gone. Now it's time to mess with people.
Oh, man. That's hilarious.
Pretty awesome.
All right, Mark. Third wish.
All right. For my third and final wish, I wish that I could own a DeLorean. Because I've always wanted to drive one of those, and I've never had I have been in the presence of one, but I have not.
What you could really do is just stack your second wish like Lucas is doing.
You took it
and
right
just
out of my
have
mind.
your DeLorean be the time
From
travel
the Back to the Future.
machine.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Well, it would obviously be more of a recreational thing
Oh,
because I
Mark.
can teleport.
I almost said Ronnie. Mark. Come on. It's.
Well, of course I will. Of course I will ask for the time machine. from Back to the
No,
Future.
you don't ask for it. You wish for it.
Well, wish for it. Whatever. Whatever. Semantics. But and that time machine was owned by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Yes. Yes. See, I'm not the only one.
I'm seeing a theme here. Well, my third wish is to give every person 15 minutes to have a personal
Dwayne "The Rock"
conversation.
Johnson.
To have a personal conversation with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. And I
Can't take it back. It's your wish.
No, I definitely am taking it back. That is not my wish. So, my third wish, for real.
Gonna burn in your wish.
Yeah. Just dang it, I burned it on Dwayne The Rock Johnson. My third wish, I think, makes up for my two selfish wishes before. And it's to give every person in the world a dream or vision and personal conversation with Jesus Christ. Nothing elaborate, 5, 10, 15 minutes, but well before their death, where they can talk with Jesus, ask him whatever questions, let him kind of share some personal things, and then afterwards they can live their lives and show if they actually believe in him or not. But to give every single person in the world a 10, 15-minute chance to talk with Jesus and go from there and see what happens. Like Paul got to like see Jesus after his death and like had a vision, and he and Jesus had a conversation for like 5 minutes or however many minutes it was. So I guess I'm wishing for every single person in the world to have an opportunity to have that moment. And then after that's over,
Cool.
They can live their lives, they can do their thing to see if they truly believe, see if it really made an impact. If they didn't, then at least, they were given a chance. And I'm not saying that God doesn't give everybody a chance, and, it's definitely found in the Bible that God gives everybody a chance. But I want to wish that everybody gets like an in-your-face opportunity to talk with Jesus before they die. So
It's a pretty good one.
All right.
my last one.
All right. Who brought honorable mentions?
I did.
Of course.
I'm
Ronnie,
going to skip my honorable mention because I just wrote down that The Rock became Batman. So
is that
that was really it. I wrote that.
that's your honorable mention that The Rock becomes Batman? I wish The
Yeah.
Rock would become Batman.
Yeah, that's exactly
Well,
right.
Ben Affleck actually just announced that he is no longer playing Batman. So,
Oh, doors open.
Oh.
Yep, door is open.
Doors open
Doors
for your
open.
wish. Yeah, it is. Anybody else have an honorable mention?
Well, Mark said it earlier, but it wasn't his wish, but it was to fly. I mean, come on. I mean, who wouldn't want
Come on.
to hover and fly and do all that? Yeah.
That would be cool.
I'm not just going to hover at and fly at 25 miles an hour. No, I'm going to be doing the old breaking the sound barrier. That's how fast I can go.
Now, along with that, then you have to wish that your body is impervious to most things, because you'll be hurting yourself if you're flying that fast.
No, I'll just get Cisco from the Flash to make me a suit. I mean, he can pretty much make
'Cause
anything
he's
in like
real.
3 minutes. So
He's real. Yeah. I mean,
Some
I
of
guess,
these
I thought you were
wishes.
talking about my dog for a second.
yeah, I thought he was
Cisco
too. I'm
did.
going to put Cisco on my face. He'll absorb all the hits. I guess I did bring
Although
up.
I talked about killing my dog a couple weeks ago, so I can't really say anything about that.
Hey, you were saving a human life, so.
This is true.
And Mark,
No,
even
the human was already dead in that scenario.
oh, that's right. Good
Yeah,
call, Ronnie.
that's true.
Now, Mark, you already kind of shoehorned your honorable mention in. Did you have another honorable mention?
I do have another honorable mention. I wish that there was no such thing
As the boogeyman.
as Max. Yes, that's it. You got it. No. As
Wait, the boogeyman is real?
yes, the boogeyman is real.
Spoilers. Lock that closet.
He's under your bed right now.
Oh, my.
Um,
Parents, sorry if your kids are listening.
I wish there was no such thing.
Oh, hold
as
on,
sur-
guys. There is a boogeyman on my leg right now.
Smacked it. Got it. We're good.
Got it.
And thus ended the boogeyman. No, I wish there was no such thing.
Have you
as
guys ever
server
seen
issues.
the Boogeyman movie?
No. I played the game Boogerman.
Oh, Booger Man. That's what I meant. I haven't seen the movie. I
I've never-
played the game.
yeah.
I've never seen it. I don't really watch scary movies.
Good man, Ronnie. I like you better already. Mark, are you gonna mention your honorable mention, or are we just gonna move
Yeah,
on?
what's the hold up here?
I can look at 3 holdups right now.
Are you robbing us at gunpoint? All right, we're sorry. Go ahead.
I said I wish there was no such thing as server issues, that there was no such thing as max server capacity, and that servers didn't crash. There was no such thing as
Oh,
lag.
okay.
No server issues.
No server issues. It's a cool wish.
Should have wished that you created that server and made millions of dollars off of it.
Yes.
That's thinking.
That's a good one.
That's thinking.
Very nice. Well, my honorable mention is the ability to freeze and unfreeze time. at will.
Like
That'd be
Zach
a cool
Morris. Just say timeout and then walk around.
Yes, I just go like this. Oh, that's perfect. I never even thought of that. That's perfect. Yes. Yeah, I really like that idea, but then as I got into it, I realized with the wish I would have to really make a lot of addendums and extra information to make sure I don't mess up my life, because I think about like the complications of aging. Like if you freeze time but you're still moving and doing your thing, you're going to continue to age. So after years of freezing time, all of a sudden I'm going to be like 60 years old and my wife's going to be like, "What's wrong with you?" It's because I've been freezing time, but I've still been aging because time hasn't frozen with me, because if it freezes, then I can't move. But then you just think of like the physics, the base limitations. Like I couldn't use electricity or play video games because I froze time. So electricity can't flow from the electricity place, wherever that comes from. Like I would like.
Well, why don't you just stack your wish and say you can't age when you freeze time?
I mean, I guess I could, but I just feel like I would miss something. So I just end up taking a bunch of naps. Like I would freeze time and go to sleep as long as I can, then unfreeze time, and then, make my time productive, or just play a bunch of video games. But that was my honorable mention, so it's never going to happen.
Nice.
Because the other ones will eventually. All right. So to close things out, we have a couple people in our Discord that shared their wishes with us. Starting with our brother Travis Popsicle. Good old Travis Popsicle. He said, "My wish at the moment is for my wife's health to improve so she can live a normal life. She is plagued with gastroparesis, among other stuff, which is where the stomach and intestines are paralyzed and cannot process food normally. She has a surgery scheduled in Cleveland to remove a blockage and fix some internal tangling for February 8th, but this government shutdown deal has messed up our insurance, so we are waiting patiently for word if it will happen. Her condition has strained our marriage, the family, and everything in between, so that's where a real wish would go up, and we'll definitely wish that with you,
Yeah.
Patrick."
What?
No, Travis. Patrick's wishing it. He was shaking his head. I saw him on the screen, so I said Patrick. I meant Travis. His second wish is that he could play Red Dead Redemption 2 with normal controls. And then his third wish is that Ronnie would watch Superman for the rest of his life on an endless loop. So he started out with a
real
very
wish right there.
a giving wish, and
Yeah.
then he went to a silly wish, and then he went to like a torture wish for Ronnie.
Then he became the Punisher in Wish 3.
Yeah. So if you all of a sudden have to watch Superman on an endless loop, you know who did it. Traffic
That's
Popsicle.
true. This is true.
The second one came from Ashley Michelle, Ash Michelle 86. She said, "Okay, so my first wish is that I would have the power that Bradley Cooper had in Limitless, except it's permanent and it has no side effects." Have you guys seen that movie, Limitless?
Negative.
Doesn't he know
No,
everything?
no.
Yeah, he takes a pill
Like-
that pretty much puts his brain on like super mega drive, and he can think and knows everything and all that stuff. His brain is limitless, pretty much. So,
Cool.
her second wish is to be able to spend one more day with lost loved ones, like her brother, grandma, uncle, all the pets she's lost, Safi, Jesse, and Perry. And then her final wish would be to make everyone in the world nicer to each other and to all have a good heart. I believe this world would stop a lot of bad things that happen in this world if we were all a little nicer to each other. And then she also had a question. Have you ever had a wish come true? And there's your answer. That's sad.
I'd have to think about that.
I mean, I think we all have like wishes come true. You know, if you like go for like a job interview or something like that, you know, you're like wishing that you get that
Yeah.
job.
But I'm
I
trying
we've
to
all
think
been in
of
that like kind of scenario.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of a specific example, because to me, like when you make a wish, like not actually a literal genie wish, but like when you were like, man, I wish this would happen, you're thinking that it's not going to happen, or you think it's like far-fetched. Like, you know, I could say like when I was a teenager, I wished for the best wife ever, and I married my wife, and she's the best wife ever. But like I'm trying to think of a specific one.
Whoa, whoa,
that's
whoa.
genuine. Whoa.
Whoa.
What? You gonna front me?
Your wife is the best wife ever?
She's my best
think
wife
so.
ever, buddy. She's the best wife I've ever had.
None of your wives even listen to this show.
Hey, Yeah, you're right. But she's still the best wife ever.
So knock it
My
off.
wife listens to the show.
Knock it off.
Hey, I make my wife and kids sometimes listen to the show, like in the middle of dinner when they can't go anywhere, and then I turn it on and be like, "Hey, listen to this, what we talked about." And then we talked about chocolate. We talked about chocolate poop, and then I couldn't play the show anymore at dinner.
Sometimes I wish that my kids would go to bed on time. And it happens. Sometimes.
100% of the time.
So that
it
does come
sometimes
true.
happens. Nice. Yeah, I'm drawing a blank. Do you guys have any other wishes you can think of?
I'm pretty much out on myself.
Fresh out of wishes.
Fresh out of wishes.
If I become friends with The Rock, though, at some point, we'll know that I wished it here.
Well, I will tell a quick story. It wasn't a wish, but it was a prayer that there was during my high school life. For 2 or 3 years, my family had exchange students, and we had a Chinese exchange student one year. And on a number of occasions, we stayed up really late, at night talking about faith. And he shared with me a lot of the things that happen in China with faith and like worshiping your ancestors and how he didn't understand Christianity. And while sometimes I think a wish or a prayer or a deep desire maybe are all synonymous, it just depends on your perspective. I remember wishing at some point that he would become a Christian. And later on that year while I was there, we were at a church service and he went down to the altar and he prayed and he became a Christian. And now he's my Chinese brother from another mother. And that was a wish that came true, definitely for me. So
Cool.
Yeah. But Ashley, we appreciate your question. Sorry we did not come up with as many good wishes. They do exist, and we'll keep making them and we'll keep telling them. And you feel free to share your wish if it came true too. Other than that, that takes care of our wishes. As we wrap things up, do you guys have any final thoughts? I wish Marc would have some music for us to put on the Spotify playlist.
Your wish is granted, good sir.
Oh, woohoo! Now that doesn't count as one of my 3 wishes, does it?
No, not as one of your 3 wishes, but now you can tell Ashley and Michelle that you've had one of your wishes come true.
Hey.
Well, hopefully she listens to the show and I don't have to tell her she heard it.
But yeah, we do have some songs to add to the Good Morning Guys Morning playlist, which you can always check out on Spotify. The first song is Pink Floyd's Wish You Were Here. The second song is Jack Johnson's Sitting, Waiting, Wishing. And
That's a good one.
I'm actually doubling up on it's the same title, but different artists. This is Incubus's Wish You Were Here. So 2 completely different songs.
Nice. That's been good wishing songs. I also wish, I wanted to say one other thing, maybe 2 other things. I also wish that our memories weren't so bad because we might have overlooked a couple things.
Oops.
Ronnie, want to share with us what that might be?
Yes. Super Bowl predictions.
Bow, 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 bow.
What do you guys think? What do you think's happening?
So we got the Patriots versus the Rams.
Oh, I was gonna
Patriots versus the Rams.
I was gonna predict the Browns were gonna win. Dang it, Cleveland's not in it this year. Thought for sure they were gonna be. Nope. All right, so the Rams and the Patriots. Who you guys got? Who you feeling?
Patriots are going to win 27-21.
Ooh, breaking out some numbers. All right.
Tom Brady is going to deflate balls. They're going to cheat.
There's going to be Spygate camera things happen.
Tom Brady's going to grab a gauntlet with his 6 rings or whatever he has. How many does he have now?
He's
6?
He's going to snap his fingers and half the Rams team will be gone.
He has 6.
Oh, man.
Oh, man. Yeah, I don't know. Is it 5 or 6? I don't remember if he's already gone
say
into
it's
the other
5.
hand.
A lot.
I think it's
I
5.
think it's 5.
Yeah.
He's going to craft one of those gloves.
Yeah,
like,
he is. Oh, gosh.
Thanos.
If he gets 6, that means he can destroy half the universe. I've heard that. I've read that in the rules, the bylines of NFL rules. Oh, snap. That's not good.
He's already destroyed over half of the NFL.
That is correct.
I think New England's going to win also. I I think the score is going to be a little bit high. I think it'll be like 37-34. That's what I went with.
37-34.
I feel like every time the Patriots are in the Super Bowl or there's some big game, it's like they always come down the field in the fourth quarter and they always kick a field goal to win. Like just always just enough time to get that done.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna continue the theme because I really think Brady is going to be hungry after losing the Super Bowl last year to Nick Foles and the Philadelphia Eagles. So I also predict the Patriots are going to win, and they're going to win 33-30. I think it's going to be a close game, but I think Brady's going to seal the deal at some point.
There's also I have a sneaking suspicion that this could be the game where the Patriots end up blowing out the Rams. I could just see that them put together a game plan that just dismantles them in front of everybody. Because the Patriots are kind of on a warpath this year. They were the underdog against the Chiefs in the playoffs, and the Patriots haven't been an underdog in forever.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
And it just totally lit a fire under them.
Oh, I'm sure it will, or did, or is. Past, present, future, all of those.
Is, was, and is to come.
Yep. Mark, do you have a prediction?
Well, I'm originally from New Hampshire, which, if you didn't know, is in the region of New England. So, obviously, I like the Patriots, even though I'm not a big football person. And blah, blah, blah. Get your cheater comments out of the way. Blah, blah, blah. And so I'm going to say the Patriots will win 32-21.
32.
Did I catch a niner in there?
It happens. It happens. It happens.
It happens. You never know.
But I'm going to be watching the Puppy Bowl anyway, so
Yeah, who you got, the Labradors or the German Shepherds?
I'm going with the Corgis.
Ooh, the Corgis.
I have no idea who's in the Puppy Bowl, but
yeah, me neither.
No, but knowing my luck though, I say that, and then the Rams will pull this incredible victory out, and it'll be amazing.
Yeah.
And blah blah blah.
Well, I think it's win-win at this point, because if the Patriots win, then we were all right, and if the Patriots lose, they lost because we wanted them to deep down, but we all predicted it to kind of make it that way. So I think it's win-win.
I actually kind of like the Patriots too. I really actually want them to win.
Boo.
I also predict that the game-winning touchdown will be made by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Yes. I wish that.
Dwayne "The Rock"
Honorable
Johnson.
mention.
Honorable mention. All right. Well, real quick, the second thing we forgot to mention is we got a review last week, and I want to read it real quick.
What?
We got a review from Catalina the Great last Wednesday.
Oh.
Isn't that nice?
It's a Catalina wine mixer.
Catalina had this to
Catalina
say,
the Great.
and this is our 12th review. He or she, Catalina. So she said, "Great dudes on a great podcast. Are you looking for a new podcast? Do you enjoy sports, gaming, music, and other fun hobbies? Are you needing a little more positivity and encouragement in your life? Are you a sucker for dad jokes? If your answer to all these questions is yes, then I would say this podcast is a suitable one for you." And then there's other stuff that's said, but it was cut off because I didn't copy and paste the review very correctly. But Catalina, if you're out there, feel free to answer it. The last sentence begins with "pa." So pay attention.
So
pay someone.
here's the funny thing about that.
What's
and I'm
that?
not sure what's going on there, but that is literally my review.
You're Catalina the Great?
I don't know why it says Catalina the
What?
Great, but that is verbatim.
What?
My review. I
What
wrote
kind of
that.
lies are you feeding us?
Yeah. You didn't have to pretend to be someone else. You could have just put Mark.
Somebody just copy Mark's review and post it.
I don't know what that is, but that is my review. That is literally verbatim what I wrote.
All right.
So I don't know why it's showing up that way, but yeah. Apparently I'm Catalina the Great. I don't know.
All right, Catalina the Great. Thank you for that. We got yet another nickname
New
for
nickname.
Mark. Boucher, Catalina, the Great Boucher. That's hilarious. Oh, man. This was a good one, guys. I enjoyed sharing these wishes with you. Feel free, those of you who are listening, find us on Twitter, find us on Discord, share your wishes. One thing I thought of, I read a Chinese proverb. It says, great souls have wills, feeble ones have only wishes. Now, while that might be a knock against wishes, I think when you think about your 3 wishes, the kind of things that you would wish for, that reveals a lot about you. It reveals your priorities, your values, who gains the most through your wishes, those kind of things. While it's silly to think about wishes and to talk about things that aren't ever going to happen, at the very same time, we can learn something about ourselves. And I think if you look back at what Ronnie, Patrick, Marc, and I, or Catalina the Great, and I said for our wishes, you learned something about us. And so I think it's really cool that we got to share these, that we got to hear some other people's wishes. So thanks for sharing this time with me, guys. I wish we can do it again next week, talking about something else. And in fact, we just might. So with all that being said, Patrick, Marc, Ronnie J, and you listeners, our friends and family, go get your good morning this week. May God bless and guide your lives as you live, work, and game. See you next week when we talk about a very morbid topic. And la Ravadary, my brothers and sisters.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Chicken dumpling leader standing by.
Poop leader standing by.
Brr.
Burn.
Sasquatch leader standing by. Nobody mentioned my hat yet.
Oh, I didn't even notice it.
I don't pay
Nice.
attention to what you do, Ronnie. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
Naked Wolfman leader standing by.
I can't wait till we get a leader beginning that gets put into the outtakes at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sounds like
We need to do that.
it's happening. I put poop leader.
Yeah, that's perfect.